In Vancouver in 2025-2026, conversations about substance use are getting reshaped by three overlapping currents: a louder, sober, curious culture, a quieter but very real microdosing trend, and a rapidly professionalizing world of psychedelic-assisted therapy. Together, they're changing what a night out, self-care, and even treatment can mean in a city that's always been a little health-obsessed, a little anxious, and very online. The most visible shift is sobriety, especially the selective kind. Sober Curious is no longer just a January challenge, it's becoming a year-round identity for lots of millennials who are tired of hangovers, high prices, and the mental health tax that alcohol can add. In a 2025 Canadian market study, roughly half of Gen Z and millennials said they'd be likely to participate in sober curious behavior that year, with social media playing a major role in spreading the idea that less drinking can be a lifestyle upgrade, not a moral lecture. Social platforms are basically the loudspeaker. Instagram Reels and accountability content about alcohol-free routines, mocktails, non-alcoholic spirits, "This is my sober 2025" check-ins have become mainstream, polished, and very shareable. The vibe is less rock bottom and more glow up. Better sleep, clearer skin, improved training, calmer mornings. For Vancouver specifically, that aesthetic clicks with local culture, fitness, hiking, wellness cafes, and the sense that everyone is trying to optimize their life while the rent keeps climbing. But the second current, microdosing, sits in a much trickier lane. It's often framed online as a productivity or creativity hack, and it gets bundled into the same wellness universe as cold plunges and breath work. The problem is that the hype travels faster than the evidence. While psychedelic research is expanding, microdosing claims are hard to verify because outcomes are subtle, self-reported, and heavily influenced by expectation and context. That gap, big claims, limited certainty, is one reason public health and regulators keep emphasizing that psychedelic use for therapy should be routed through controlled medical pathways, not social media trends. That's where psychedelic-assisted therapy enters, and 2025-2026 is a systems-building moment. In Canada, Health Canada has repeatedly pointed toward clinical trials and the Special Access Program, SAP, as the most legitimate routes for psychedelic-assisted psychotherapy, meaning access is framed as medical and supervised, not casual or DIY. In the Vancouver area, interest is also showing up in training pipelines and professional discussions. Who is qualified, what supervision looks like, what ethical guardrails exist, because therapy here is moving from a fringe concept to a regulated health conversation. The research momentum feeding that conversation is real. Recent peer-reviewed work continues to report meaningful symptom improvements for depression-related outcomes in controlled settings, including a 2025 trial in PLOS medicine that found clinically significant improvements when psilocybin-assisted therapy was combined with structured psychological support, in that case, mindfulness-based training. Larger syntheses and meta-analyses in 2025 also argue that psilocybin shows measurable efficacy for major depressive disorder under trial conditions while still emphasizing the need for broader, longer, and more diverse studies. At the same time, the psychedelic therapy story isn't only about psilocybin. Ketamine-assisted therapy is often discussed as a more established, legal clinical option in Canada when delivered by licensed professionals, and it's part of why the therapy marketplace and public curiosity has grown so quickly. In parallel, high-profile reporting in 2025 highlighted ongoing pharmaceutical investment in psychedelic-adjacent compound signals that major players are betting this category may become an enduring part of mental health care. Vancouver's policy context adds another layer. British Columbia's decriminalization pilot for certain small amounts of drugs is set to expire on January 31st, 2026, and the province has stated it will not request a renewal. That matters culturally, even if you never touch substances, because it shapes the public debate. Harm reduction versus public safety, medicalized access versus street supply, and what care looks like in a city living through an overdose crisis. Put all of this together, and the 2025-2026 mood shift looks like this. Millennials are questioning alcohol more openly, experimenting with identity and community around sobriety, and simultaneously watching psychedelics migrate from festival myth to clinic and trial. Social media helps the ideas spread fast. Science and policy determine what becomes legitimate care. And in Vancouver, where wellness culture, stress, and public health realities collide, the big question isn't whether people are curious. It's whether the city can keep the conversation honest. Benefits discussed without hype, risks discussed without stigma, and treatment pathways built with real safeguards instead of vibes.